Alright, welcome back to the Impractical playthrough Ocarina of Time Randomizer. So this is going to be a pretty pivotal part, because now we're going to be going to some of the bigger dungeons. We've gotten a good amount of essential items. We can now pretty much complete the Forest Temple, we can partially beat the Fire Temple, and a good portion of the map is getting blanked out, which is a little scary, because there's still some stuff I need. So I don't know. I said last part that I was going to be going for some stuff off camera. I recorded it. I got some stuff. The Frog Ocarina game, I finally have some songs so I can complete that, and I completely forgot about the Redead Grave chest in Kakariko. So here's some footage of what I got. You won't believe it. Is that the item? I guess it was the 5 rupees. Okay. That kind of sucks. There we go. It's like they didn't want to give me what I needed. Alright, I think it's about time to go back to Adult Link now. Yeah, it was it was about what I expected, but I had to check it out just for curiosity's sake, just in the off chance of something good. So what is on the docket today? Well, not right clicking. Forest Temple. We're gonna complete this. There's some stuff in Lost Woods I can do. It's Deku Salesman Grotto. I got many other Forest last part. And maybe go in the Fire Temple. I don't know. We're gonna see this part. This is kind of getting into the not to throw the pun out there, but getting into the danger zone, because if I can actually beat Fire Temple, which will be good, it's like, ooh, then where else do I go from there? Because I still don't have the Iron Boots. That's really what I want right now, because if I have the Iron Boots, I can at least start Water Temple if I wanted to. And I actually could do Shadow right now, but I feel I'm gonna need Long Shot. There's a few spots in there that you do need a Long Shot, so it's tough to say. I'm gonna figure out things when I get there. And if all else fails, then I will be needing to go to Gerudo early and doing the whole quest of getting the badge and all that. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. Like I said earlier, I'm just hoping that it doesn't come down to the grittiness of just becoming lost. And, oh, I need this item, and it's like, well, I'm screwed. Because that's what happened in previous seeds, where it starts off fine, and then it gets to this point where it starts to dwindle, and it gets a little scary, where it's like, oh, I don't know where this stuff is. How am I looking on? Oh yeah, we're gonna get some more. Yeah, so the one good thing about that, about doing the frog mini games, I got a lot of rupees for it. So that's gonna be very helpful right now, because we're gonna need to stock up on bomb shoes. Because I still don't have a bomb bag. Like, this many parts in, still no bomb bag, which is crazy. Like, where is this thing at? Knowing my luck, I'm gonna get to Ganon's tower and then it'll be right there. Like, yep, here's the bomb bag. It's like, thanks, I don't need it. But I can't give those thoughts like that. So who knows? You may be in Forest Temple. Could be fire. Like, realistically, my bucket list of items, looking at a little tracker on the side. I really want iron boots. Like, bombs would be very helpful, and I wouldn't have to use the bomb shoes for everything. But man, that really would. We'll see. Remember when I did that Mito trick and I didn't need to do that? Oh, that was pretty good. Here we go. Pick up more Deku Nuts, 40 bucks. Don't mind if I do. I think this guy just sells sticks. Yeah, arrows. I don't need those. Well, I can cross that off, but... Ooh, I definitely... Wait. Yep, I went the wrong way. I was thinking back in my head, like, I think I'm going the wrong way, and I was. Oh well. I don't have mini way. I gotta, like, travel all the way. I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, I don't have mini way, so I gotta walk all the way over here. I better hope I don't have to, like, backtrack somewhere, because I might have to... Outside Forest Temple, because I have to, like, walk all the way over here. And there's this grotto too, so let's get this one. And I feel I should mention this now because I was kind of thinking of it right now, and a few parts ago I was all thinking of it too. I was having a talk with somebody about the Zelda targeting in general, and we're talking about you can toggle whether you just switch it for Z targeting or hold it down, and figuring out which one is kind of the definitive way. And me personally, I am team just switch. Like I've never had it really as hold. The only game that I actually have just hold on is Wind Waker. That's about it. But every other Zelda game, if it's got like the switch option, I will do that. Something about it just feels off. Like not off, but like it feels more natural just hitting it, not having to worry about it. I don't know where you stand on this very dividing issue, but are you team switch or team hold? It's like you hit like I'm gonna try and make my side seem more appealing. Like, yeah, on team switch, I can hit Z, I can do other things in the background. I hit it, don't have to worry about it. If I want to check my phone, I can while I'm in battle. If I want to like, put the controller down for a second, I can. Team hold, you can't do that. You hit, you drop it, you're done. Like you have to, you don't have to focus as much when you're using a switch. You just hit it, boom, and you switch targets when you want. It's easy. I don't know what team hold arguments are. What I can infer, at least from what my friend said in terms of team hold, is that with hold, you can kind of easily target enemies better. You can have more control over it than letting the game sometimes auto do it. But I never really had an issue where the game like will target onto somebody without me doing it. Like usually, I feel I'm in control in that aspect. So I don't know. I'm gonna end this conversation before I get into this dungeon. So that's the last of the switch and hold. Hope that's the last of this game lagging. I don't know why it's doing that now. Yeah, so I do have minuet. Alright, let's go. For safety, real quick. Yeah, I did a safety save for a save state because I actually gotta fight these guys. I never fight these guys. I just let them chill here usually. What I was saying is, last time I actually did this dungeon, I don't know what happened, but I like couldn't beat it. They didn't give me the right amount of keys or what. And it kind of like blocked the whole thing. I actually had to sequence break the game to get to the dungeon. So I'm save stating in case like an emergency or I use a key in the wrong way or what. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. And that's one of the reasons really why I didn't use key sanity for this challenge. Like, while I would have added a much bigger challenge to like face in this one, this is probably going to be maybe I'm still very early on. I can't really comment on how many parts is going to be. My estimate is the 20s, probably 20 part maybe, depending on how like things go near the end. But if I did a key sanity, that could be easily a 30-40 part because it could easily come down to, okay, I need to get to this dungeon and finish it, but I'm missing one key and I don't know where it's at. That key could be in Ganon's tower, it could be anywhere, so it's... I don't want to deal with that. That's more of an off, like a personal kind of playthrough if I want to do that, more than a video type playthrough. The reason why I toned down certain aspects just for the purpose of keeping this playthrough kind of consistently moving. God, this part. For those 3 people who did watch my Ocarina of Time 3-heart challenge, this is the room right here. Actually, this part never got released. I forgot. I never uploaded it. So in the original Ocarina of Time playthrough I did a few months ago, no, last year actually, this room on 3-heart destroyed me because these guys will take you out in like one hit pretty much, and it's bad. I died countless times, and it was rough. Half of that video is me dying. Like I forgot what the death count was in the end, but it got to astronomical levels. Oh, okay. Feeling healthy already. Okay, where is that sculpture? Oh yeah, and also because I have the bow, I can just do this. Like when I did this area originally, I didn't have the bow. Like the entire game, I could not find the bow for like whatever reason. So I'm happy at least this time around, I got it. Man, I don't know what is going on with this game lagging. I don't know if, like, I don't have anything else running in the background, so hopefully doesn't run too much. This usually has a single heart in here. Forest Temple Key. Alright. Yep, still. If I had the iron boots right now, man, it would just destroy this dungeon because you wouldn't even need to do the extra rooms. You could just go in there and just drop down, get your thing, and be done. Wait, and I'm all prepared last. I've been mentioning that last seed this entire series. That seed was ridiculous. God, that seed made me mad because like it started off so promising. Like I think the first item I got was a bomb bag. I was like, man, it can give me good item after good item. I'm getting good luck and finishing a lot of these dungeons. And then it got near the end, and then it was like the game wouldn't give me anything. And I had the misfortune of not making myself a spoiler log, so I could never find out what I actually, like, where the items were. Which is something I have made sure never to forget in future seeds. Like I said, this seed, I do have a spoiler log, but I'm only saving that for, like, true, like, lost circumstances. Like, the Link to the Past one, I mentioned, I had to use it once because I could not locate the fire rod. I was thinking of every single chest in the game, and it was one chest I just straight up forgot. In, like, a dungeon in the beginning. And I was like, yeah, I'm happy I did this because I never would have gone back there. Okay, I'm happy to give me these keys. It wasn't like this last time. They weren't giving me. I had like one key, and then that's all I got. It's like screw you in progress. We're not giving you what you want. All right. Link always cursing. I always thought when Link did that little like grunt when he like falls from a high spot, I always thought he was cursing. I don't know, I sound like he was like saying something. It's like, whoa, it's an E game. E game with blood. That sadly got taken out. Now the one thing I am so happy about playing the randomizer, and I'm definitely gonna get to when I get to Fire Temple. I'm gonna hit Ocarina Time history lesson when I get to that dungeon. But I'm so happy that the randomizer runs off 1.0, the original just straight up like version of this game. Like the version I own is 1.2, sadly, which fixed a lot of glitches and different things like that, but 1.0 has a lot of cool stuff that they took out. They had to take out, and I've always been sad. It's like, man, I've wanted a 1.0, and I was even sad in my original playthrough, the 3-heart challenge, because I was playing on the GameCube version, which is obviously 1.2, and I was even lamenting. It's like, man, like there's some stuff I really wanted to like show off and really talk about in that playthrough, and then I couldn't get the chance because, well, stuff happened. Alright, so far this is going really smoothly. Like I'm quite happy with how this is going. And there is something funny I did learn, and I never knew it, but I learned just playing the randomizer, is that you really need to get the Goron bracelet. If you don't have the Goron bracelet, you can't move this. Like, I never knew that. Like, if you don't have it, Link cannot push this block. There's something about that just is funny to me. That, like you think, like, oh, the Goron bracelet's really only for child Link, but no, the adult Link needs it. Without it, you can't push this block. So I got here, and then it's like, well, I'm stuck now. I had to come back later, only to have regret when I didn't have a key to get to this next room was locked out. There's so much to this game, y'all. Like, I'm still learning stuff even through this this series now, and I'll probably still learn. Like, there's always some small little thing to these games, especially with Nintendo games. They've always got so much like just detail to them. You can play them like 1,000 times, and I'm not like 800th playthrough. You might be like, oh yeah, I never know that happened. Yeah, okay, now I have to go. Kind of talked about it a lot in my previous series. I'm sad that series never finished, because that was really a really reflective playthrough, which is kind of really why I loved it at that time. Because I really reflected on everything. It was like my experience playing Ocarina of Time the first time and things I loved about this game. And one thing I did mention in that part never got uploaded was, like, I love the way just Nintendo like designs and like structures the games. Like Deku Tree is obviously the tutorial dungeon, and the Dongo's kind of almost like the semi-first dungeon of the game. But to me, it's always been that those child dungeons are, even though Deku Tree is obviously the big tutorial one, getting you used to the systems and acclimated to how the game's gonna work, that those were all still in the end tutorial levels, and this is really where the game begins. This is the first dungeon really pretty much where the game doesn't hold your hand. They don't put you any kind of like, oh, go here, what's this thing, maybe you should try this. Like, it just kind of lets you go at your own pace and figure things out. It kind of takes the training wheels off, which is why I like, and they design a lot of their stuff like that, where like, even though like they're obviously giving you tutorials and they kind of make it seem like, oh, you're not doing this thing, like they actually, oh dang it. Yeah, I can fight this thing first too. Nope, that's not gonna work. I'm about to do something. I'm so mad. I learned last year, and I'm so mad at myself, because if you just do that, boom, for countless years I would just go through this whole cycle, and I didn't know all you had to do was use Deku Nuts to speed it up. I felt like such a fool. Like, it's like, if you could just see how many times I've played this game and would go through the slow process of him block, 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 hit once, block, 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 hit again. And just knowing that, oh, you just use a Deku Nut and it speeds up the cycle. I was frustrated with myself. It's like, why? But it's good I know now, because now I don't have to worry about that in future playthroughs. And this right here, this is when I was talking about dying in that part. This was the hardest room. Like, these guys are actually in a 3-heart challenge. These are the hardest enemies in the game. Which is kind of funny, because there's some enemies in Spirit Temple that can easily take you out in one hit, but these guys are dangerous. Especially my first 3-heart playthrough when I did on the 3DS version. I was on Shadow Temple for like a week, just getting through the boat section where you have to fight endless stalfos. Like, it's relentless. Oh, God, what am I running this on N64? Alright, big chest. Give me something good. Please. Please get me something good. Every time that happens, it just... Should I unhook my microphone from my computer? Like, I think the game knows. Because every time I'm like, give me something good, like, I'm gonna close my eyes, this might be a good item, they always throw that ice at me. It's like the game's taunting me. Look at this music. This music kind of is a little spooky as a kid. Like this game, like this is a really like atmospheric soundtrack. I mean, it has like a lot of really cool melodies, but it's really good at just building like a tension and a mood for a dungeon. Like all the dungeon music in this game is very iconic and just it fits the theme perfectly. Like as it should, obviously. Like every game should strive for that, of having consistent themes for locations and characters and all that. But this game does a really bang up job in that aspect. Like I know everybody hates the water level. It can get oh man. Do you know what's the timing on that? I mentioned water level and like clockwork, instantly they give me the iron boots. Sounds like the game's telling me something like, oh, water level, huh? Not so bad. Here's the iron boots. But finishing my point, though, the water level, like yes, it can be daunting at times and a little sometimes challenging for getting some stuff because it's pretty big. But to me, the music has always helped me. Like that music's very relaxing in that level. Like sometimes I get lost, but it's like, you know, I have the music going. It's not too bad. I always find it fun when I see it on like lists of worst Zelda dungeons. It's like I don't know what technically would be the worst Zelda dungeon of all time. If I was like to definitively like think of them, I'd almost say the water level and the water level Majora's Mask actually is pretty cool, but I get more confused in that one, especially looking for some of those fairies. But I'm actually trying to think of it now, like what is the definitive worst dungeons? But it's a tough kind of question, because like how are you gonna define worst in terms of just enjoyment, like in terms of the puzzles, the structure of the dungeons, like it's kind of a multi-tiered question. Like you have to really think on it. But also like actually formulate like a list, like what are the qualifications of worst, like definitively bad or just maybe not a fan favorite. I know definitely Skyward Sword has some dungeons that are not some of my favorites. tough to say. Like I'll mention Majora's Mask quite a lot, but all those dungeons are really tight in that game, just because the puzzles are structured so well, just because of like the mechanics and like the masks and how they do it. Like I can't really find fault in that game. That's like a perfect game almost. Like I mentioned it a bunch in different videos, but Majora's Mask is probably the 3D Zelda is my favorite. Although I love Ocarina of Time. I love Wind Waker. I also really enjoy Twilight Princess. They're all great games. But I don't know, something about Majora's Mask, like it really drew to me, and just like it's just kind of crazy with such a short development cycle. That game is like so good. Like it improves on like almost a lot of things that Ocarina of Time had, and like Majora's Mask has some deeper themes than some games I've been playing. Like some games that like some stories are like dark and you can't really take it seriously. I take Majora's Mask dark stories pretty seriously. Like that's the game where it's like you're talking how to execute side quests. And just look at the Anju Cafe side quest right there. Like that is how you do one. Like the last game to me that truly had a side quest that like kept me just engrossed and like well into this story was the Red Baron side quest from Witcher 3. That thing is like 6 hours long, and the entire story from start to finish of that character is outstanding. And now as I close, like, man, this side quest is like, this could be its own game. But that's what I'm talking about in terms of like side quests and how they should be executed. Like, of course, you're gonna have your like smaller ones of like, can you deliver this pizza? We can't all be Spider-Man 2. We can't all be great. Okay. Where do I forgot. I do not have that key. I don't have that key yet. Where else can I go? I don't have the compass either. Oh boy, see, this is the part that got a little scary, where it was like, okay, where are some of these other keys at? Wait, I think I know where it is. It might be in the chest that I always neglect in this game, because it's like, I know it's in the chest. It's usually like arrows or like rupees or something. I bet you it's in this chest. It's in the room. It's in this room over here. Oh, please don't send me back. Let me get out of here, because I can't handle wall masters. Those are the enemies that put me on edge. Like they along with Medusa heads are probably some of the worst enemies in video game. Medusa heads are obviously much worse just because they're annoying to fight. But the wall masters are worse, are bad in a way, just because it's like you have to. They put you on edge the second you see that sound or you see that little shadow come along Link. You're kind of tensing up, and every dungeon with them or they're in there, it gets me. There we go. Okay, that could have been false alarm. It could have got bad. I was about to say, oh no. So I believe that's the last, well, actually there's one more room with a key. But I believe for the most part, this should be it for the dungeon. So, although we do have that other terrible room, the block room, which could take me another 20 hours to get through. I don't want that. Now, while I'm walking here, I kind of want to relay something I said in my previous series, kind of about Ocarina of Time, and just what this game did for me back then. Just because as someone who adored the first Zelda and actually really loved Zelda 2, like I actually really enjoyed Zelda 2. I think it's a good game. It's very different from the normal Zelda game and kind of the series standards, but I think for what it is a very fun little RPG and does some pretty fun stuff. But I still remember because Ocarina of Time was the first game I got for the N64. It's the first game I put in. I played Mario 64 after it, but Ocarina of Time was the first game. And I remember when the opening thing comes up with Link and Epona in Hyrule Field, I was completely blown away. Just because at that point in time, I hadn't seen that jump in 3D. Like the biggest 3D game at that time for me was like Wolfenstein 3D. That was about it. So seeing Ocarina of Time, just to me back then, that was like real life graphics. I was like, whoa, this looks crazy. Like now, of course, it doesn't look like that, but to me back then, it looked like real life. It's like, man, video games are looking great. And I watched that intro like 1,000 times. I kept restarting the system, and then when I actually played the game, the opening cutscene with Ganon and Link's dream, like I just kept restarting it because I wanted to keep seeing it over and over. Like I think I didn't play the whole game, like the rest of the game, or at least start it till like 20 minutes. I just kept resetting, starting it back up, watching it again, and just going on and on, like that. Okay, where is it? Oh, we'll go. But in terms of pivotal moments for me, this game and like kind of getting the N64 was one of them. Like, I don't think I've had a moment since, like, to that degree where I'm like restarting something over and over. Like there's been some games that obviously like were big game changers, whereas like I have to keep like stopping and looking at this. Like Uncharted 4 was one of them like that, and the recent Spider-Man was a game like that where I kind of just kept stopping to look at stuff, just graphics wise. But I think even above all that, what really got me with Ocarina of Time was that, because at that point, Legend of Zelda was probably my favorite video game at that point. Like I was always playing Link to the Past, and just seeing like, wow, like Legend of Zelda in 3D. It's kind of like a mind-blowing thing to me. I think that's really why it was such like a big, impactful moment. Not even like that, like it looked good, but just that this series that I was playing on like Super Nintendo that was generally 2D and like from a top-down perspective was now in like 3D. It was crazy. I'm not sure what that moment would be like for someone nowadays, because everything looks good. Like most games nowadays come out looking quite good. And is there gonna be a moment like that moment where it's like, wow? Like I wonder if I was a kid now. Like I wonder if if there was a game that would give me that same impact of just like, dang, that's like graphically just like a series of mine, like kind of established into a whole new thing. But I also think it was just an element of that time, just of the renaissance of just 3D games coming into the limelight, and like what developers were having to come up with for that new style of design and play. Like, I'm sure designing stuff for this game during the development was probably pretty fun. It was probably something pretty cool, just of coming up with, like, now working in 3D, overdoing puzzles and kind of design in a flat environment. Now you're having this whole 360-degree room or area you can design that along with being horizontal is also now vertical. So yep, I should switch over to this. Okay, I made my mistake. Oh. Take it. Someone's probably thinking right now, see, John, this is why you don't have a Switch hold, because you might accidentally target on the wrong person, and it's hard getting off. I'm just surprised this dungeon went pretty smoothly overall. Like, at this point, I'm pretty much done. Now I'm gonna obviously save for safety, which that might not have been smart, because my game still is known to crash on pausing. So that was kind of a gamble going to like pause the game to save, but I don't have to do the dungeon really anymore, so we're set. But we're not done. Now the hardest part of the dungeon. In all my years of playing this game, this one puzzle here, I've never really like figured out like really the whole solution. I just kind of push the blocks till I get it. I know that sounds absurd, but that's really kind of how it's been. Like I've played this game countless times, and like I still don't know in the end like how to like truly do it, or what, like, oh, you push this block here, you do that. Like, it looks pretty bad on my part, where it's just like, oh, I just guess. We got this switch here. And this opens that one right, the red one. Now it should open. Okay. Okay, it's going smoothly so far. There was there was about 2 years ago a playthrough I did where I think it took me almost just like 20 minutes on it. So that it's hopefully going a little smooth and I'm getting through it is good. There he is. But I have this thing, so we are set. Alright, so now I can go fight Ganon. I just realized, did I even get... I didn't get the compass the whole dungeon, so there's a chest I'm just straight up missing somewhere. But I feel I got all the essentials. I think the iron boots and probably the heart container were like the main items, and so I don't know. Well, let's go. This should be a pretty easy fight. Like, I'm not too worried about it, especially with how much health I have. What made it kind of scary in that 3 heart is that he does a lot of he does a lot of damage when you have 3 hearts. It's pretty much a one-hit fight. Although the one part that I'm still like dreaming that the footage is gone is that beating the fire temple boss with just 3 hearts is so satisfying and cool when you pull it off, and like that the footage is gone kind of sucks, because doing it once to get it is it's really hard to pull off, and I don't want to do it again. Especially that in that attempt, it only took me 2 tries, whereas the first time I did it, it took me countless tries with no fairies and. Okay. Just did they. Wow, that was fast. That was very fast. See, getting to the bosses isn't the issue. It's getting the items that's the problem. And because I have so much health, like, now the game's just gonna be a breeze. Like, I'm not scared. Oh, there's the compass. I was wondering where it was gonna be. Okay, so that is everything then. And give me that. Yeah, I'm closing everything down there. All right, looking good. Okay, so I need to beat Fire Temple then. No, wait. Okay. I beat Dodongo. Oh no, I'm getting confused for a second. Oh well, let's go. I might have made a mistake on my tracker. Actually, I'll know in a second. Oh, that's why I put Goron Ruby instead of putting the Zora's Pendant. I don't know why. All right. Should I call it here? What am I looking at on time? Maybe. Let's move over to the map right now. So, wait. Oh yeah, there's that heart piece now. So things are looking a little brighter now. So we have one adult dungeon finally complete. We can now get this little heart piece here under Zora's Domain. I still need to get the Blue Cucko to do that quest. Oh, I think next time I'm gonna hit Fire Temple. I'm gonna try and see how far I can get, because I do have Megaton Hammer. I have Bow. I don't have the red tunic, but I have enough health that could just get me by with enough. And I can still possibly enter Water Temple because all I need is the tunic. That's really all that it is. So, yeah, we'll see next time. Next time will be a part of dungeons and some side stuff. So that should be pretty good. So I'm going to call it here. So until next time, see you later. I didn't know where that ending was going.